big show. Is Conor McGregor natty or not ahead of his big UFC return fight against Max Holloway? We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about if Conor is going to pass the drug test despite the steroid allegations. Conor went on a podcast and he was talking about his former steroid use. We're going to get into all that, plus several other UFC fighters who have tested positive for steroids that you may or may not know about. We're going to get into all of that. It's some big names. A lot of people don't know about those names. We're going to discuss it all. We're going to talk about the state of steroid use in the UFC as it stands currently, because the UFC got rid of USADA. They have somebody else now. We're going to get into all that. It gets really crazy. Plus, Daniel Cormier, he fought back. What did he do? He made a statement about his recent alleged hacked Twitter tweets. And yeah, we're going to get into all that. Plus, he speaks out. He slams Josh Hokett. I was going to make an entire video on that. But, we're going to get into it, man. DC went in on Josh Hokett about calling out Michelle Obama. And finally, we're also going to get into Sugar Sean O'Malley's next fight. He got a walk-off salute knockout at UFC White House, and he's got some interesting statements about him versus Marab and him versus Peter Yan. We're going to get into all that. We got a big show for you tonight, guys. My name is King David MMA. I'm a professional MMA champion, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I coach and I train at the greatest gym on planet Earth, Extreme Couture. So I have a little bit of an inside scoop as to all things UFC and MMA related. Plus, my uncle is Hulk Hogan. So when we get into the Josh Hokett stuff about what he's doing to grow his brand, we're going to get into that. I have a very unique take on that stuff. I've done a couple videos related to it. Tonight, we're going to go a little bit deeper because everybody's reacting to what he said about Michelle Obama, but nobody has the right thought process about it all because they're forgetting to ask one question. We're going to get into all that. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you're a real one. And if you are a real one, I just dropped the link in the chat to get a real one t-shirt, and tell your coach to go to studiomillions.com. Man, dude, listen. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the $2 million in sales we did for one gym in 18 months. I don't want to talk about the fact that we helped one gym go from 0 leads to 138 leads in a month. You know, like we're not going to get into all that. That's like nerdy marketing shit, right? All you need to know is that if you fuck with your coach, send them to Studio Millions. They will absolutely love you. Thank you. And in fact, some will say they'll owe you their life because you just changed their life. Also, follow Fight Circus on Instagram, home of the freak show fights. All right, guys. So let's get right into it. We got the chat popping off. We got Arpan Ladon, the moderator at large, saying, let's get it. We real ones in the chat, we got Joaquin saying, great practice in advanced wrestling. Yeah, man, we got it in today. We got that practice in today, boys. We went upstairs with Justin James, and Justin James, not only is he famous for his UFC, the fact that he fought in the UFC, he bet on himself. He said he would double down if he had the chance. But recently, he picked internet sensation kick streamer Larry Wheels up over his head, spun him around like a top, set him down gently, and choked him out with a head and arm choke. So shout out to Justin James. Also, on Justin James' podcast, 10-7 MMA, that's where I called Sean Strickland will bounce his balls off Hamzat's head. I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% certain. There were two other, he has a co-host, and there was another host on the show as well. They were not as convinced as I was. I was very certain. I said, this is happening, guarantee it, lock it. They didn't believe me. And then I had to go back and be like, I told you so, guys. So shout out to Justin James and the 10-7 podcast. We had a great wrestling practice upstairs today. All right, guys. So your take, let me ask you this. Is Conor McGregor on steroids? Because he's fighting at 170, guys. He's fighting at 170. And, if you guys want to buy me some energy drinks, go ahead and drop a super chat. You know, everybody's like, buy me a coffee. Fuck that. Fuck that, man. We're American men. We drink energy drinks and soda. That's what we do. And if you drink coffee, that's okay. But we don't want that. We don't want that milky, frothy shit. Because, see, I'm the problem. Okay? I don't just go get a black coffee. I'm getting a milkshake like a fucking child. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm watching these people at the gym walking on a treadmill with a milkshake coffee in their hand, drinking it, and then they wonder why they don't lose weight. And I'm over here doing the same fucking thing. That's why it's no coffee for me. It's 0-calorie energy drinks and 0-calorie sodas. Let's fucking go. I got to be approaching 700 and something milligrams of caffeine already. Today we got up there. We're getting up there. We're past 700 for sure. All right, so is Conor McGregor natty or not? He's fighting at 170, and he just went on Ariel Helwani, and he admitted that he took steroids. He said he took whatever the doctor gave him, but he also said that he got out of the USADA testing pool and whatever other testing pool the UFC has. He got juiced up. He did whatever the doctor says. He doesn't even know the names of it. He just injected it. Let the doctor handle the quantity, the frequency, the schedule, everything. And he did whatever it took to get his leg healed. So I'm talking to one of the biggest managers in the game right now. His name is Richie DiPaolo, and Richie manages Sugar Sean O'Malley's sparring partner and protege, Tommy McMillan. Richie had an interesting take on this because Richie comes from a baseball background. Richie can ball. Richie can play baseball, okay? And in baseball, there was a big steroid controversy back in the day. It was Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Jose Canseco, all these dudes, juiced to the gills. They were hitting home runs. And at the time, it was a huge controversy. Steroids in baseball. Oh my gosh. What are we going to? The craziest part about it all is Richie dropped this piece of info on me. Richie told me, bro, did you know they didn't even have steroid testing? It wasn't banned. It was not banned from Major League Baseball at the time. So these dudes were juicing up, rushing home runs, right? It was Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco. They were called the Bash Bros. And they would stand back to back like this, flexed. You know what I mean? Like hard ass pictures. You know what I mean? Breaking bats and shit. And fucking, if they struck out, they snap bats in half over their knee and flex. They were mogging on everybody before mogging was a thing. You know what I mean? And then somehow they got popped. Oh, they're on steroids. Or all their records tainted. And Richie's point was like, hey, man, listen, this is a professional sport. You guys are risking your life. Why not? You're doing all this damage to your body. Why not do a little something that helps you recover? And I said, Richie, it's different than baseball, bro. I said, would you want to go fight a guy knowing he's juiced to the gills and can give you brain damage? But Richie's counterpoint was like, hey, man, you guys want the biggest, fastest, strongest, most athletic, impressive fighters. Do you want Uberim or do you want Uberim off the juice, the Overeem? You know, like, which one do you want? You want a skinny fat Vitor or you want TRT Vitor, right? And then we got into some nuances of it all, right? Because Richie's the father as well. And Richie was like, hey, man, Conor wants to be able to play with his kids, you know, growing up, whatever they do out there, they call it football, we call it soccer. He wants to play soccer with his kids. And that's respectable and understandable. So Richie's point was like, hey, man, whatever it takes to guarantee he can walk again, because that's a vicious, vicious injury. And so should he not be allowed to walk again? And then I pushed back. I said, man, but listen, the drug testing organization's counterpoint, let's say it's USADA for the sake of this conversation. USADA's going to say, yeah, bro, inject everything. Do everything you want. Do all the juice. Do all the HGH. Do all the peptides. MOG. Do Ascend. Looks Max. Whatever it is you want to do. You just can't do that and fight in the UFC. Not under USADA. Not under us. That or whatever the testing agency is going to be, right? Because is just because he's injured and just because he wants to be, that's like a choice, right? Should he be allowed to play with his kids? It's not allowed. He's got the choice. He can go do that. He just needs to get out of the testing pool and not fight. And so some people are pushing back saying, dude, he shouldn't ever be allowed to fight again. He's literally admitting that he's done steroids. Right? Well, you know, let's keep it real. Back in the day, Brock Lesnar got a testing pool exemption because he was with the WWE and the WWE needed to release him from his contract, and there was a contract issue. So he needed to fight more quickly than he was able to be released. It was a bunch of shit, right? Like, long story short, instead of having to test for multiple months to be like you enter the pool and then you're tested clean for multiple months, then you're allowed to fight. Brock only was tested the month leading up to the fight. And then Brock fought and popped for steroids, right? So like, and he actually, I believe he popped for steroid byproducts like clomiphene or whatever it's called. Um, it uh, it will make you not get bitch tits, I believe. And if you do juicing, you could correct me in the chat. I'm not an expert on the subject. You know what I'm saying? I just know it's not it's technically not a steroid, it's a banned substance. Anyway, it's something you would take while you're on juice, essentially, because juice will skyrocket your testosterone, your body reacts with a bunch of estrogen, you get off the test, you got all this estrogen left. That's why some dudes that are bodybuilders start growing breast tissue, right? And so, in order to combat that, you get off it with that shit. Speaking of which, I can get into a whole other story where one of my dear friends was uh, juicing to the gills. That was wild because I was strong at the time. I was strong at the time. So, typically, I fight at 155 pounds, and I was repping 275 for 6. I thought I was tight. And my boy, he fought a couple weight classes up or whatever. You know what I mean? But I think maybe he fought one weight class up. He's like 170. Then he's lifting with me. And he get at 275 or 6. He's strong. And then he gets on his fucking cycle. And the next thing I know, like the next week, I hit 275 and I got 6.5. And I was like, fuck, I'm getting stronger. And then he hits it for 7. And I go, fuck, that's impressive. And then the next week we go back. I hit it for 275 for 6.5 again. I'm like, okay, I'm maintaining. He hits it for 10. The next week he hits it for 285 for 10. The next week 295 for 10. The next week 305 for 10. And then the week after that, this motherfucker, that shit had kicked in and he's doing like this. Boom, right? And they're holding it, like talking to me. Dog, you just got to get on juice. Boom. He's hitting 315 pause reps while he's having a conversation with me, telling me to do steroids, right? And I was like, fuck. And I went from being able to armbar. I got a sick armbar. I've won professional MMA fights by armbar. Like, it's legit, battle tested, all that. I could armbar him before he started his cycle. Once that shit kicked in, there was no armbar in this motherfucker. He was essentially doing like a bicep curl with me. And it was so fucking, it was like fighting a mutant or something. Like, dude, are you even human at this point? And in a way, that's like, he had such high levels of anabolic hormones in him that they were non-human levels. You know what I'm saying? He's injecting shit for horses and shit into his ass. And that dude was strong as fuck. And we're still friends. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't even like to train with the guy. It got to the point where he would do well. And then he would just tell me like, yeah, bro, I'm strong, dog. And then I remember one time, we went out, we were at a buffet. And he's like, because at the time I had tested a vegan diet, pause. Okay. So I tested this vegan diet and I started like thinking I was tight. Oh yeah, man, I don't do that. Yeah, you could be in that. I got propagandized, you know what I mean? But I wanted to test it for myself. So I was like, you know what? There's dudes that can fight in the UFC and be vegan. Anyways, don't do that. I would not recommend that ever, but I'm over there eating vegetables and shit. And I might have been vegetarian at this time because I did vegetarian for 13 months and vegan for like 7. And he's like, dog. He's like, I don't want to get too much into his business, but he had a side hustle, right? So we're gonna call it side hustle instead of slanging, right? You know what I mean? So we're there, and then he's like, dog. He's like, bro, what? He's like, you over here eating that fucking vegetables, bro? He's like, just do juice, eat steaks, and side hustle, bro. And he's like flexing at the fucking table on me. You know what I mean? And I was just like, dang, bro, like you make a convincing argument. Because I mean, the dude was balling. He was balling as well. Like at the time, I was like not doing as well. And so he's over here buying me buffets and steak dinners every night and doing this and that and the other thing. And then me and him are like grappling, and he's like curling me, and I'm like, dude, maybe I shouldn't. So, anyways, long story short, there's been several people in the UFC that had special circumstances. So, for instance, Sean O'Malley tested positive for Ostarine. I believe he tested positive twice. That's like a steroid-ish type substance. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that John Jones, not only did he test positive around Daniel Cormier, around that fight, he tested positive before for the same shit Brock was on. So he's had multiple tests, and then later he had picograms. Anderson Silva tested positive for steroids, and Chael Sonnen publicly says, if you're not on juice, you're not even trying. You're disrespecting the game by not being on steroids. He's like, dude, you're calling yourself a professional and you're not on steroids? So then that leads us back to Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor is literally saying that he did juice, but he was outside of the testing pool. And then the argument is, should he be able to come back or not, right? And Richie's saying, dude, of course he should be able to play with his kids, let him do juice and heal his leg. And then the counterpoint is like, yeah, he can do that, but he can choose not to fight. And so now he's doing both. So he's coming back in, which, hey, I'm not here to fucking pass judgment on anybody. I'm just saying, like, is this the new 2026 thing? Like, just hop out of the testing pool, get strong, ascend, mog, you know what I mean? And come back looking like a fucking X-Men hopping out of a fucking hyperbaric time chamber, you know what I mean? Is that the play, guys? Is that what we're doing in MMA now? So it's crazy how many of these people have popped. And it's like there's almost no downside in a way, right? Oh, TJ Dillashaw, you want to talk about another champion that popped? Right? The champions are popping. And then let's just say you were an alien from outer space and you came down and you said, oh, these dudes are winning world titles and they're popping for steroids. And there seems to be no real downside to it other than they get like, Sean O'Malley had like a 6-month suspension. So you go on vacay for six months, and then you test clean, and then it's all good. And then you can go fight for a title and win or whatever, right? So, like, what's the act? Like, the same thing with the eye pokes. The eye pokes, the back of the headshots. Unless people are going to get called on the shit, then one could make the argument that it's technically legal, right? Like, it's an actual tactic or a technique. Like, if you're going to go into a pro MMA fight with your fingers out, poke a guy in the eye, oh, oops, sorry, now you have an advantage. There's no downside to it because they're not going to take a point. They're not going to DQ you. Oh, shit, I dropped an elbow to his spine. He was moving target. Oops. Oh, shit, that guy's KO'd. I win. I'm the interim heavyweight champion. Like, is that... Like, what's the downside, guys? You get what I'm saying? So while the rules may say it's prohibited, the actions of the people that enforce the rules don't actually prohibit it. So the same thing that's happening with steroids is like, hey, don't do steroids. Definitely don't do that. But if you get caught, take 6 months off and then you'll be back in the thing. You could go fight for the title soon and then be a UFC world champion, right? So I'm of the camp, let people do whatever the fuck they want. Let them, like, hey, listen, I'm not here to judge people. I'm not saying if I had a time machine, I would probably go back and tell me to do juice. My uncle was Hulk Hogan. He did juice. He told me to do juice. He came backstage after a fight and was like, brother, we got to get you on something. You know what I mean? Because I was getting my ass beat and I broke the dude's arm with an arm bar, right? So the fight visually looked really bad because I got like picked up and slammed and fucking beat up and my face looked like I got hit with a tire iron or something. You know what I mean? I was fucked up, but I won. And he's like, oh, brother, we gotta get you in the gym, my guy. You know what I mean? So that was encouraging. The Hulkster coming in the back telling me to get on fucking steroids. You know what I mean? But me talking to younger me, I might go, dude, honestly, bro, the risk is worth the return. You get to be way better performance, way better recovery, borderline unsubmittable if you have like a technical understanding of martial arts, and then you juice, and then you're going with anybody that's not on juice, for the most part, you're going to be like, just, dog, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Then there's benefits, right? Like, oh shit, if you perform well and you look good and you sell tickets and you look good on the poster and all that, like, then, so what's the downside, right? So then this leads us back to Conor, because Conor says that he took some time off, went and did whatever, and now is coming back, right? But there's long-term effects of juice, right? You have increased bone density for life. A lot of your gains in terms of strength, and I'm not a fucking scientist, so don't quote me on this, but it's like you keep some muscular and I would imagine tendon strength. So you're stronger, even if you're off and it's gone out of your system and you test normal levels and everything, and you're not fucking snarling and foaming at the mouth right now. You have had benefits of having it in your system. So before War Machine went crazy, he and I used to go out at night and be in the nightlife in Vegas. Okay. And he was on so much juice that I remember one time telling him, like, bro, because he wanted to do some rounds. And I'm like, dude, you're juiced to the gills, bro. I don't feel like training with you right now. And he's like, dude, I'm not even, babe, I'm not even fucking anything, bro. I'm not fucking anything. And I'm like, you're not on anything. What do you want? And he's like, some fucking Anavar, bro. That's it, bro. It's fucking Anavar. It's not fucking steroids, son. It's like fucking steroids. You know what I mean? And so he was on so much juice that him only being on like 1 or 2 steroids was considered not even, oh, just on Anavar, bro. Like, that's not even steroids to him. That's how much juice he was usually on, right? And so, anyways, yeah, like being around that and just, I mean, dude, Zercher squatting 405 for like 10 reps. You know what I'm saying? The dude fights at 170. Like, what are you going to do against that, guys? You know what I'm saying? I mean, anybody can get knocked out or whatever, but fuck, man, there are some benefits. And so, as a fan, right? As a fan, let me remove myself out of sport. As a fan, let him fucking juice, bro. Let him fucking juice. And then Conor's going to come back. He's going to have benefits. So is it even fair for him to fight Max if Max doesn't have benefits? Let Max juice. That's what I'm saying. Let's just fuck it, guys. Let's have a fucking free for all. No, I'm not trolling. I'm not saying, let's fucking run it. Right? Like same thing with the weight cutting. Oh, people shouldn't cut weight. Dude, if a motherfucker wants to cut weight, let him cut weight, bro. Stop interfering in what everybody else is doing. If these guys want an advantage and they want to win, they're going to do it anyway. And then we're going to only regulate the guys that are not going to do it, essentially, because the other guys are going to find ways around it. Let's be real. Conor McGregor, what is his net worth? That some people are estimating it at $600 million. You don't think that he could find a doctor that could help him figure out how to not get tested, or like get tested and then pass anyway? I'm not saying he's doing that. I don't think he's doing that, right? I'm just saying, maybe if I had $600 million and my return fight was on the line, not him, I'm talking about myself personally, I might go, how can I get a fucking doctor in here to help me with some new shit that nobody's even discovered yet, or some way of manipulating shit so that I could pass the fucking test and go in there with an advantage and keep my $600 million brand running? Or I could just fucking risk it and risk getting beat up again. And then my demise is public, and everyone's like, "Oh, that motherfucker fell off," right? So multiple hundreds of millions of dollars are on the line. And what would you do? Hey, try and take every advantage you can, like Chael says, be a professional, or would you just risk it? Risk public humiliation and everybody thinking you fell off. Your legacy is tarnished, or fuck with that doctor who's got a track record of getting people to pass tests. Some of the dudes look like superheroes in the UFC. You mean to tell me every fucking genetic freak on the planet just chose to do UFC? Oh, everybody that trains 3 times a day, burns an insane amount of calories, runs on top of that, does strength and conditioning, does all these fucking 9 million workouts, and somehow they're able to put on fucking 20 pounds of muscle mass with shredded 8-pack abs and veins in their lower abs and their shoulders. Like, Oh, that's just genetics, right? And guess what? Especially when you see white dudes doing it, right? So, and I know we're not supposed to say that, right? But that's what Brock used to say. Oh man, they see a jack white boy and they think that I'm on steroids. Dog, you were on steroids, bro. You popped. What are we talking about? And then it's like, so this is the point of why I'm saying all this, right? It's not just about Conor McGregor Natty or not, right? That's a cool headline. But the point of what I'm saying is this: how close to reality is the average person willing to get? And it's on a lot of subjects. It could be on UFOs. It could be on anything, right? Like, like, do you really want to know what's popping with UFOs? Well, oh, yeah, I want to know if flying saucers are real. Well, what if flying saucers were actually people from the fucking center of the earth? They're not really traveling from a far distance and they kind of control the planet. And then maybe there's all kinds of bad shit going on because we got to pay them with fucking, like, oh, what crazy shit. Crazy shit. What if they are from somewhere? A country got a crash and then they figured out how to do some really dangerous technology that's really easy to make. Let's get back to this juice topic, right? Which is like the average person wants to believe that The Rock is natural. The Rock is not natural, guys. The Rock is not natural. He's not 45 and putting on fucking 40 pounds of muscle mass for a movie role in 8 weeks with he never had abs and now he's getting abs at 50 something years old. The dude looks like a cartoon character. You and then people are like, oh man, it's chicken and broccoli, man. Motherfucker, go eat chicken and rice, dog. See what happens. Nothing. You might get a little leaner, right? You might get a little bigger over the course of 10 years if you're like 15 to 25 or something. You know what I mean? You can look good. Can you look good naturally? Yeah, you can. But to put on fucking muscle mass like that, you got to be the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Oh, percent. Which, even then, come on. You mean to tell me all the celebrities are in that? All the UFC fighters are in the freak category? Nah, man. Motherfuckers are juicing. And let's instead of trying to regulate it and people doing it anyway, and there's all this, let's just same thing with the NFL, man. You think those dudes aren't on juice? Hey guys, we're gonna drug test you on this date. Please do not test positive. They're literally saying don't test positive. They're not saying don't do steroids. Anyways, allegedly. Let me read the chat real quick. I'm on a rant. All right, we got John Hogan in the chat. Hi, everyone. What's up? Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? We got Chris Ruffin has again joined the chat. Chris Ruffin in the building. Let's go. Hey, and if you guys need natural solutions to your pain, hit my guy Chris up, man. He's got DMSO, bro. It works. All right. I'm not a doctor. It's not medical advice, but it works allegedly from a non-medical professional. Okay. I just listen, I just want a belt at 44 years old. Okay. You could listen to me or not. I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to me. I gotta say that. I live in a country where you get if you tell people what you actually do, you get fucked with. And it's the same thing with this. Like if the fighters just came out and were like, hey, I'm on this, that, and the other thing, we could all like learn and go like, okay, well, maybe I'll go do that. Right. But right now it's a fucking Wild West. Everybody's pretending they're not on anything. We have this new drug testing agency. Connor's saying he was out of the pool. He juiced. He's coming back. He's got long-term benefits of it. Max may not be on steroids ever in his entire life. He's fighting at a loss. Like what are we fucking doing, guys? Let's be adults here. Motherfuckers do juice. It's not a big deal. Let him juice. If you want to fight him anyway, fight him anyway. I'll hot take. Allegedly, the dude I fought for this belt he felt like he was on juice. And if he wasn't, he was. But if let's say he was, let's pretend. Let's go to imaginary world, right? Let's go to imaginary world. He just picked me up flat back, right? He didn't shoot and level change to get his head up. He was like this, like this against the cage on me, right? Ass out, picked me up over his head. That's not even a fucking proper technique. That's not a move. You know what I'm saying? That dude's on TRT. I promise you, allegedly, because you're not allowed to say stuff about people. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, guys. What are we doing? And I chose to fight him anyway, and I won because I'm fucking nice like that. Because I if you watch the live about the blind spots, right, you know that people don't. Let me read the chat. DC wasn't clean. Changed my mind. LOL. He was just better at it. Hey, see, that's the take. Chris Ruffin with the hot take. DC wasn't clean. Changed my mind. That's the part nobody wants to talk about. That's the unspoken truth. That's the Al Gore, bro. That's the inconvenient truth. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Okay. That's allegedly the realest shit you ever wrote, bro. That dude, a coach. His name was Dr. Roddy Ferguson. He went to fought MMA, fucked people up from the fights I saw. I haven't seen his whole career, but I just remember. And he had a program called the Gold Medal Program, METTLE, medal, like your intestinal fortitude. And he would put out statements and stuff like that. And one of the statements was like, he gave an analogy. It was called the nightclub. And so he equated the nightclub to, let's say you want to be an Olympian. The Olympics is the nightclub. Your entire life, you've been waiting in line to get into the nightclub. That's where all the cool people are, the beautiful women, millionaires, everybody you want to fuck with, every woman you want to meet, everybody you look up to is in the fucking club. And you're in line. And you've been dedicated. And you've been in line. And you've been waiting. And as you get closer and you get closer, the club sounds more fun. And you hear the music and you hear the girls laughing and you hear the fucking rich guys going, oh, fucking buy another. Hey, it's on me, everybody. And the whole place cheers and it's all good and it's all love. And then you get to the fucking bouncer. And the bouncer goes, pay the price of admission. And now you've dedicated your entire life, and certainly your entire adult life, to getting in the front door of that club. And then the bouncer tells you the price of admission to compete with the people that are in the club is steroids. Are you going to go back and not, like, that's what I'm saying when I'm like, if I could go talk to younger me, I would be like, bro, do juice, go win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have very different advice for myself. And when Felony Charles Bennett was living with me, he was against me saying that. He didn't agree with that. He's like, no, fuck that. Don't do that. You know? And in my head, I'm like, hey, man, it can be prohibited, but unless it's really enforced, there's no downside. So the current state of things is there's no real downside. The public, for whatever reason, doesn't like reality. The Rock's eating chicken breast. Dude, okay, bro. Like, you can't deal with the fact that a fucking WWE wrestler, movie star, does juice to look good for movies where he gets paid tens of millions of dollars. They're paying him tens of millions of dollars. They're investing hundreds of millions of dollars into the production. They want to see a return on their investment, meaning they want more money to come back to them than they put out. They want to make a profit. This guy is in charge of getting people to buy fucking tickets or download streams or watch on the fucking streaming service or whatever the fuck. And he's not going to fucking pay them the respect to do a little fucking juice? To be a box office star, to sell out the fucking auditorium, to fucking break streaming records? There's hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on the line. And the average dude, oh man, chicken breast, bro. I was that dude. You get what I'm saying? I could go back and talk to me. Dude, I'm going to lift weights every day and I'm going to take creatine, bro. That's amazing. I would have liked an honest assessment at the time. You get what I'm saying? Like someone would, like, my uncle told me later in life. I would have liked to have been told, like, hey, bro, you're 15 now. Keep working out. When you're 18, maybe do a little stuff. Maybe get some fucking traps popping. You know what I mean? Maybe. Anyways, let me read the chat, guys. I'm fucking out of my mind. Don't listen to anything I say. Not medical advice. Never do anything I say. Ever, 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 never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, never. It's a court of public opinion. Exactly, man. The average person doesn't want to deal with reality. The average person doesn't want to believe that for whatever reason. Oh, like what's controversial about it? I could see in the UFC there could be a case like, hey man, people are fucking hitting each other in the head. Don't let them get enhanced. Okay, that's a legit case. But for the fucking Rock to play fucking Aladdin or whatever the fucking next movie he's gonna be in, they want a juiced up, jacked Aladdin. Hey guys, I'll grant you your wishes. I'm a big juiced up fucking genie, right? What's the problem? Why can't we just admit, hey, dude, if you want to look like that at 50, go do this? It would be so much easier for everybody. And that's why I fuck with Clavicular, because at least Clavicular's honest. Clavicular is going like, hey, man, peptides, Ascend, 2026, Looks Max. Here's what I'm doing. Here's my stack. Here's my cycle. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me read the chat. Tycoon, what's up, bro? DC catching strays. Dog, yeah, man. But is it a straight, like if we were just dealing in reality, it would just be reality, right? But we have to pretend in this fictional world that none of these guys are on juice, even though like the majority of champions have some at some point, right? Or whatever. And then we gotta act like, and then we gotta play, and then you can't say, and it's the same thing with DC. Speaking of DC, what he's saying about Josh Hogan. Oh, that was nasty, man. That was lame as fuck, saying about Obama or whatever, right? You guys do know that Joe Rogan made that same joke in his comedy special, except he was more vulgar with it. And then at the end of the joke, he said that he doesn't think she has a dick, right? Like that was, he said that, right? Like he made the same joke essentially. And it's a joke. You get what I mean? Like Josh Hogan, let's be real, guys. Josh Hogan doesn't think that chick is a man. That's come on. She's clearly a woman. And honestly, let's keep it real. Some people would say, and I don't think she should do this because I don't think she needs the drama, right? But some people would say that she could easily just go get a DNA test, prove him wrong, and sue his ass for defamation. Easy. But she's above all that. She don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me read. And I'm being serious. I'm not trolling you guys. Like, well, come on, you can't respond to every critic. But she could easily do that. She could sue him and then just do that and then prove to settle it all if she wanted to, right? So he's fortunate that she doesn't do that. But so here's the thing. This is what I was saying about DC and everybody. Oh, it's disgusting. He should say that. He's losing fans. No, he's gaining fans too, bro. He's doing what's called polarizing, right? So he's aligning himself with the people that fuck with that message and resonate with that message and on the big mic train and all that. They don't want no fucking colorful flags in the schools. They don't want any of that. They're not with any of that. He is a fucking hero to that conglomerate now. And to the other fucking conglomerate, he doesn't give a flying fuck. He's like, y'all don't even know what pronouns you are. You choppy down. Like I can't trust your job. I guarantee you that's what Hogan's thinking. And now he's probably endeared himself with President Trump. And off the record, a lot of people probably who are speaking out about it probably thought it was funny, but they're probably not going to say that publicly because they still have a business to run. You know what I mean? Just saying. I'm just saying. So the proper question, whether then, oh, was it right? Was it wrong? Right? Like, so here's the question that no one's asking, that everybody needs to ask about DC's response and everybody's response to Hogan, right? Here's the question. What's Hogan's goal? DC's going, oh, you're losing fans. Was his goal to keep those people as his fans? The same way that you guys see what I do here. Hey, if you're a real one, get a real one shirt. I only want real ones. I don't want fucking weenies around me. I don't want pinheads, pea pants. I don't want peanut pinchers. I don't want any of that. I want real ones only. So I'm intentionally alienating weenies, wimps, wussies, all that. I don't even, honestly, I mean this. I genuinely mean this. Like, I don't want like a bunch of whiners around me. I genuinely want real ones around me. So extrapolate that out to his belief system, which is, hey, homie's got a surprise in his pants or whatever his fucking belief system is. And I rock with everybody that rocks with that message. And I don't want anybody that's on this other side of, oh my gosh, you said something. Oh, that was distasteful. Oh my, you said something. Oh, let me clutch my pearls. He doesn't want that audience. So to imply that he's losing, he doesn't want those fans anyway. He wants ride or die. Fucking whatever we're gonna call that group that rocks with that. That's what Hokit wants. He wants that group. So he's gained fans, and not only fans, he's gained passion. He's gained loyalty. He's gained motherfuckers that ride with him now. Because at first it was cringe, but now when you go to his comment section, it's like, you're a fucking hero. We need it. Yes, bro. Tell him. Da, 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 da. It's like people are fucking passionate. They're passionate about the guy. They're impassioned. They believe in him. They rock with him now. So did he alienate some people? Yeah, the people he wanted to alienate. And did he fucking embolden and impassion and fucking crystallize his fucking presence of being with the people that he wanted to fucking unite with? He wanted to unify himself with. He wanted to fucking ride at dawn with. Yes, he did that too. So the question is, what was his objective? Was his objective to endear himself to Trump? Because let's be real. After all the shit Trump has said about Obama and all that, Trump finds that funny. You know what the fuck they say about Ivanka? You know what they say about Trump? You know what the fuck they say about Trump's kids? You know what they say? Like all kinds of shit. So Hokit making a joke at the White House, or maybe he meant it, whatever. Donald Trump's probably like, I fucking like, yeah, bro, fuck them, dog. He's probably thinking that. So was his goal to get closer to Trump? Maybe. Did it probably work? Yeah. Was his goal to get emboldened, empowered, passionate fans where he elicits an emotion out of them and finds a tribe of people he resonates with? If that was his goal, he did that. And I'm not agreeing with what he's saying or any, like, none of, I'm just saying that from a perspective, you could do it on the other side if you wanted to. Right? Somebody could have won the fight and said, hey, man, it's really cool being up here at the White House, but we need Kamala 2028 or whatever the fuck they wanted to say, right? And then that group of people would have been like, fuck yeah. What? Oh, you know what I'm saying? So, and I don't even try and get political. I played around with it in the past, like fucking around on the mic. Dude, it's a shit show. It's a complete fucking shit show. For me. For me. Because I look at it like pro wrestling. My uncle was Hulk Hogan. I'm just out here pro wrestling. I'm getting on the mic. I'm talking shit. You know what I mean? And then I got people death threatening each other in the comments because they are on either side of the whatever political spectrum. Then that would lead you to ask the question, like, is there actually a political spectrum, or is it like a group of elite people who run it? And then you go down rabbit holes and you waste your whole day on some shit that's out of your, one would imagine, out of your control. Anyways, before we get into that, politics is jester, let me check the chat again. All right. Flintstone gummies and roids, all 2026. My guy Ryan Ramirez, bro, you already know. You already know, bro. The Flintstone gummies, dog. That's how you do it. And my plan, just so for total transparency, total complete transparency. I plan to continue fighting. I'm already past the point of no return, right? I'm fucking too old to get signed to the UFC per Sean Shelby. That's from the man himself. He was like, dude, you're fucking sick, bro. You fucked these dudes up, man. I get it. I can't be signing nobody your age, dog. He's like, if you were 25, I'd sign you on the spot, bruh. But unfortunately, we're not in the business of people who win belts at 44. I said, okay, bro, I understand. I totally understand. Get it. No problem. Right? But for the remainder of my fighting time, as it stands now, and I may change this later. I might go fight circus and go Thai box and just get juice to the gills. But for right now, no juice. And then when I'm done fighting, all the juice. I'm gonna come on this motherfucker. It's gonna be like before I come on the stream. a shadow will be cast over the whole fucking stream. And they'll be like, what the fuck is that? Is that Godzilla coming in here? No, it's King David MMA, man. I'm fucking 300 pounds right now, dog, with a 32-inch waist. You know what I'm saying? That's the plan. That's the current plan. Just to be real with you guys. You know what I mean? Like, transparency is important to me. It's important I'm honest with you. I plan to stay steroid free. And then when I'm done fighting, juice to the gills. Okay. So, and I will admit it. I'll tell you guys whatever stack I'm on. I'll give you the insight. I'll be totally transparent about it. Okay. So yeah, it's funny to me how DC always comes up in the steroid combo. You know what I mean? Allegedly, that's the price of entry into the Olympics. And I'm not saying the Olympics is giving people juice, but if you go watch the documentary, it's called Icarus. It reveals how much steroids are going on in Olympic sports. And it reveals like how many people, once they actually started doing like testing on motherfuckers, like the Tour de France, the number one guy popped for steroids. So they were going to give the gold medal to the number two guy, except he popped. So they were going to give the gold medal to the number three guy, except he popped. They were going to give the gold medal to the number four guy, except he popped. They were going to give the gold medal to fifth place, the number five guy, except he popped. They were going to give the gold medal to the number six guy now. So it's like, fuck, dude, the sixth best guy in the world. No, he popped for steroids. The seventh best guy in the world popped for steroids. The eighth best guy, they were going to give him the gold medal. They couldn't give him the gold medal. Why? He popped for steroids. The ninth best guy in the world, they wanted to go, okay, top nine, still single digit. Can't give it to him. He popped for steroids. Number 10, popped for steroids. Can't give him the gold medal. They're like, dude, can we give the gold medal to number 11? Can we give it to the gold? No, they can't. He popped for steroids. Number 12 popped for steroids. Number 13 popped for steroids. Can we give the gold medal to the number 14th guy? I believe it was number 14. He may have popped and it was the next guy, but I believe the number 14th guy was the first guy who had a clean drug test. And that was just a clean drug test. We're not even saying if he figured out how to beat the system or whatever, right? But like he passed a clean drug test. So they went through all those people in cycling. That's how dirty that sport was. And then you see MMA guys with cycling coaches, like bicycling coaches, as their strength and conditioning coaches. And this is multiple people. And I'm not just talking about the one dude in the garage or whatever. Like there's a lot of people. And to me, I believe that guy's training people naturally, and whatever they do in their free time is them. I don't think he's telling them to do that at all. I think he's pushing them hard in the garage. But there's other people too. Like Conor brought in the literal the bicycling coach for Ireland into his camp to help him with his strength and conditioning. The fuck's that got to do with MMA? And maybe he got him on a good bicycling program or something. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he had him on the Aerodyne, you know? Or maybe we could just talk openly about adult topics and go, hey guys, here's the current science. Instead of keeping ourselves in the fucking Stone Ages, why don't we just talk about the current science? Like what's actually healthy, what actually has side effects, what you should actually do with what. And then we can have a moral discussion if people should do this in UFC or not, because people are getting fucking hit in the head. Same with the NFL. People are getting hit in the head. Maybe those sports you can have a discussion, but like the NBA or fucking Major League Baseball, fucking let them open the bottle of pills and just fucking do a shot with the pills at this point, right? Yeah, to put it. Does Josh Hokett think? I think Josh Hokett thinks more than anybody on the roster. I think he's the most well thought out person in the whole game at this point, off the top of my head. I feel like the one thing that he may not have anticipated was this is why I was confused as to why he said that. Because he's going to get national attention, and he is getting national attention. So if his goal was national attention, he got national attention. And if he doesn't care if it's negative, but a lot of the people who are on the Big Mike thing believe a lot of other related stories about those families. And they say that those families are very dangerous people and you shouldn't fuck with them. So now he's put himself in a fucking very dangerous mix, allegedly. But based on the most of the people who believe that shit, which I'm not in that camp. I think Michelle Obama is a nice lady. I think Obama, you know what I mean? Fucking charismatic dude. You know, I'm so fucking far gone that I believe that, like, okay, so let me tell you a story about MMA promoters to explain this. An MMA promoter, if they are operating on a very thin margin, they have to have ticket sellers on their card. And sometimes the ticket sellers know this. So if you sell a lot of tickets, you get favorable matchups. But oftentimes a promoter cannot tell someone, hey, we're bringing you in to lose because this guy sells a lot of tickets. They're probably not going to get a lot of fighters who sign up for that deal. So the promoter, by the nature of the business, if he wants to stay successful, has to play up to the other person's ego and imply or let them believe, or however we fucking get there, that this is a good matchup for them, or else they're not going to show up. Oftentimes, this gets further exacerbated when MMA managers get involved. And then, hypothetically speaking, one could hypothesize that if an MMA manager knows this, he would go, hey man, I want to get fighter A a win. I know you have ticket seller A. So I don't want fighter A to fight ticket seller A, but I've got fighter B also on my roster. So I'm going to give your ticket seller my other fighter for him to beat if you get me a favorable matchup for my guy. And if the ticket seller sells enough tickets, in theory, the manager could pick out the opponent for his own fighter, and the promoter will do his best to get that fight approved by the commission because he needs his ticket seller to keep winning. So now they're bringing in other people, and then the manager is got a guy who's there to win and a guy that's there to lose. And there's cases this, you can see it in the UFC, where someone's like a rising superstar and then he's fighting somebody else, and guess what? They're both managed by the same person. And then fighter B loses, gets cut, and then the management company goes on to congratulate fighter A publicly about their dominant first round rear naked choke victory. And fighter B doesn't even realize that his manager signed him to be the sacrificial lamb to get the fighters he really likes to be the good matchups, right? That's just MMA fighting at a regional level, or even in the lower levels of the UFC to start to promote stars, right? And I'm not saying the UFC knows any of this is going on. I'm just saying this is how the managers play it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, imagine you get to Washington, D.C. and in order to get people to vote on a piece of legislation that you want to pass, they go, hey, man, in order to pass that thing you want, which is good for the people, you need to do this thing because I got a lot of money coming to me and I promised these people I was going to do this thing for them. So guess what? All of us get money from similar big companies. What do you like? So oftentimes, like, these people are put in crazy ass positions. That's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is this: Josh Hokett may not have realized that the same theoretical storyline that he's promoting has a lot of tangential stories with bad shit happening to people that fuck with them. So, for instance, someone who believes Michelle Obama's a woman wouldn't have a problem because they would never say that. But they also wouldn't believe all the other tangential stuff. But if you believe the Big Mike theory, you believe a bunch of other stuff usually. And not others. And then so, like, why would he go get the smoke with a bunch of people unless he wasn't, maybe he, I don't know. Was he not thinking about that? Or maybe he doesn't actually believe that and he just said it publicly as like a joke. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think that he aligned himself with the fan base that he wants behind him, and he alienated himself from the fan base he doesn't want. And I also believe that he's probably looking at this as like all attention is good attention. It's dollar signs. And when my uncle came to my fight and told me to do the juice, he brought a gentleman named Eric Bischoff to the fights. And Eric Bischoff is currently helping run Real American Fighting. He was the head of the WCW for the 83 weeks where they beat the WWE. And Eric Bischoff has a book called Controversy Creates Cash. If you guys ever want a fucking free masterclass on how to fucking make it rain money on you, maybe look into that book or something. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, we got Chris Ruffin in the chat. Story time. I was consulting with the UFC PI staff for my shoulder rehab. They were like, hey, if you're injecting peptides, you're not even getting tested. Hey, if you're injecting peptides, you're not even getting tested. Not that BPC and TBD would pop. Wait. So they don't even test for peptides? Or they asked you if you're tested? Oh, they asked you. Okay. Yeah, man. So listen, so we're living in these two concurrent fucking simultaneous realities where there's like the reality of like, hey, peptides help. And then there's the reality of like, we can't talk about peptides. And then there's the like, oh, you're not signed with the UFC roster, we can talk about peptides. Oh, wait, you are signed with the UFC roster, we can't talk to you about peptides. It's like, do they fucking work? Are we living in reality? Are we telling the truth? Or are we just, anyways, we got Arpon, the Dawn with the fire emoji. Let's freaking go. All right, guys. So several people have been popped for steroids. Several people went on to win UFC titles. Some people would say that it's not actually too detrimental to your career. Also, some people will say that if they do not take points or DQ you for eye pokes, that they are techniques that help you win fights. Same thing with elbows to the back of the head, allegedly, because if there's no enforcement, then it's not really a rule, right? I don't know. I mean, well, so now we're getting into weird territory because we're talking about reality, right? What's the reality? The other live, I said, if all you did was just do exactly what you say you're going to do, and counterpoint to that, if all you observed was people's actions, not their words, you'd be ahead of like 99.999% of the population. Because nobody does what they say they're going to do. And everybody goes by people's words, not their actions. So if we were just look at all this action, Rock's on Juice, Megastar. You were like, my Uncle Hulk Hogan was on Juice, Megastar, right? Like we just went to John Jones on Juice, fucking the GOAT, right? Like, oh, like you would just look at their behaviors and their results, and then you would come to a conclusion. Oh, Cyril gone eye pokes. Okay, cool, no big deal. Oh, freaking elbows to the back of the head, no problem. Okay, whatever, dude. It's all good. It's all fucking good. But if you go by the words, oh, those are bad, those are illegal, those are banned, those are prohibited. Are they though? You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like, and I'm not trying to throw this dude on the bus. I'm just using him as the most recent example. Dude Cyril Gone poked Tom Aspinall in the eyes. Tom Aspinall is on a hiatus with the belt. And then Cyril Gone gets another opportunity to fight for the interim championship. So what was the downside of poking dude in the eyes? Like, he lost out on potentially half his purse. Okay, that's a downside because he didn't get a win bonus, right? But like in terms of his career rolls on, and now he's the champ again. So like, what's the problem? We got Paulo Costa has not popped somehow, bro. That's what I'm saying. You mean to tell me that dude just looks like training all the fucking time and just now he's going up in weight? Oh man, it's just too hard for me to make the. I just keep putting on all this muscle while I'm doing all this cardio. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. But like, it's not even a knock on him. It's just I'm not even. My, I guess you would say, issue is with the Overton window of acceptable speech. We're not allowed to discuss it. We all have to whisper about it. Dude, Paulo Costa makes jokes about it. He's on Secret Juice. He's trolling. The guy's trolling. And I'm not, oh, fuck, dude. Yeah. So anyway, I would just say maybe we have two different fucking organizations. One is the enhanced UFC and one is the natty UFC or something. Which they just did the enhanced games. And they're like, oh, there was only one world record broken. So to anybody paying attention, that means that performance enhancing drugs either A, do not enhance performance, then why are they banned? Or everybody who sets world records is on performance enhancing drugs and just doesn't get caught. Because if the drugs don't enhance a performance, then they wouldn't be performance enhancing. So why would they get banned? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, the fact that it wasn't world record, world record, world record, world record. Like when you have people change their pronouns and pop over to other sports, and then it's just world record, world record. So there you can demonstratively track in a performance, like, oh shit, yeah, all the world records are getting broken, right? So it should be the same thing if these injections and pills enhance performance. Oh, it's not. Well, why wouldn't it be? Well, either you shouldn't ban them because they don't help. So why would anybody take them? Or maybe people are everybody's on. Anyways, let me read the chat. If they don't enforce the rules a little more, it will end up devolving to an Eric Olsen King of the streets takedown to eye gouging. Dude, yeah. So that's kind of not that I'm saying he should poke people in the eyes. I'm an outside observer. I'm an alien from outer space. If somebody can clip that and then fucking whatever. He's a reptilian, whatever, right? But like, I'm just saying, in this thought experiment, imagine we're aliens. We just observe, and we go, oh, there's no downside here. Why wouldn't he do it? Why wouldn't he do it? Why wouldn't John Jones poke people in the eyes? Derek Lewis is on record saying, yeah, man, I cheat. I'm trying to win, bro. I'm cheating. And at least he's honest, you know? And so it's this bizarre world of two simultaneous realities. One is actual action-based reality. The other one is words-based fake reality. We're supposed to operate in reality while we believe fake reality. And now we're in this fucking bizarre thing where we're adults and I can't even say that Paulo Costa's on steroids without being like, why are you hating on Paulo Costa? It's like, dude, I can't even tell the truth without being accused. And what I'm saying, I'm not judging him. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying, dude, the dude looks like a fucking superhero. Good for him. I want to look like that, bro. Like, I'm gonna stop fighting. I'm gonna go do that. I'm encouraging it. I'm just saying, if I say those words, now I'm a bad dude for hating and this and because I don't want to lie. I don't think he's natural. Is that a problem to say? Okay, let's take Paulo Costa out of it because he fights MMA and he's still got an active career. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about The Rock. I don't think The Rock's natural. Am I a hater for saying that? Like, really? Like, are we adults here? Am I a hater if I go, hey, The Rock does juice? He is a very rich man. He has doctors around him that do his blood work, and he's on the best shit money can buy. And that's factual. But we live in this bizarre pseudo reality of telling people what the fuck they want to hear, right? And then that gets back into why politics is jester, right? Because if someone pulled up and goes, hey man, I'm gonna try and do the best I can, but all these motherfuckers that vote on all this shit, they had to get elected somehow, so they had to run ads, right? The ads cost money. The other dudes got money because he took money. They took money. Now we're in this fucked situation where all these people are taking money from all these different interest groups, right? And then we got to appease those interest groups who may have different interests than the people. And at the same time, I'm going to try and get some positive shit done for you. That speech will never get anyone elected, right? And then it's like, well, why are politicians lying? Dude, by the nature of the job, they can't tell the people, unfortunately, the truth because the people don't want the fucking truth. They don't want to believe The Rock is on steroids. You get what I'm saying? The Rock's on steroids. It's not a big deal. Fucking, I'm happy for the guy. Go get another 100 million. Go do it. You look great. You're inspirational. Fucking A, bro. You're the fucking man. He's on steroids. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But we have to pretend, oh, it's chicken and broccoli. He's eating chicken and rice. No, but the difference in what he does is he doesn't cook his chicken with cooking oil. No, he boils his chicken. That way all the fat boils out of it. Like, come on, bro. What the fuck are we talking about? The fuck are we talking about? The dude's injecting fucking 500 milligrams a week or whatever the fuck it is of testosterone. He's on HGH. And he's looking fucking amazing. And we can't even fucking say that. I can't say, dude, whatever you're doing is working. You look amazing. Pause. I can't say that because I have to fucking pretend, oh man, I don't know. And all this shit's allegedly, guys. Allegedly. Right? I'm not allowed to say it. We can't talk like adults here. We can't tell each other the truth. Which, if you guys really want to get deep into it, there's a counterpoint to what I'm saying, which is it's beneficial for the masses, the public, to not know the truth. Now that's the truth that even the people that want to hear the truth don't want to hear, right? And we're not going to get into that fucking tangent today because that's a fucking crazy ass thought experiment. But I started to allude to it with like the UFO stuff earlier. Like maybe it's better that certain things are hidden because they might be dangerous to everybody. And we don't need to get involved in every little thing. There's these like hypothetically just fucking as a thought experiment. I know a lot of people are not going to want to fucking hear this. But just point counterpoint. Just as a thought experiment. Just be wrong with me for 2 seconds. Hypothetically speaking, what if the elites, like seriously, I'm not trolling at all. Just and I'm not agreeing with this statement. I'm not saying this is what I believe. I'm saying as a thought an experiment of the mind. What if the elites like actually had good intentions for the people? And there was like the saying ignorance is bliss. Why don't we just do like an ignorance type? We'll deal with all the bullshit. It's kind of like if you have kids, right? You deal with all the bullshit and then you let your kids go play in the park and have a nice birthday. You know what I mean? You get your daughter a unicorn cake, right? You don't want her to deal with all the non-innocent bullshit stuff you just let her be innocent. And in a way, as a thought experiment, what if they knew some fucking shit that we don't even want to fucking know? Anyway, just as a thought experiment, because I believe that unless you can argue the other side of the argument as well or better than the person arguing it, you might not understand your side of the argument. So I know it's crazy. Anyways, but I don't fuck with politics. That's kind of, now we're getting into why I actually don't and why I agree with Clav that it's jester. We agreed with Clav a lot tonight on the stream. He's our modern day fucking what is it called? Like our modern day guru. He's the thinker of a generation or whatever, the fucking thought leader. All right, let me read this. If they don't enforce the rules, okay, I read that. Yeah. With the because people are gonna catch on, like, hey, I'm not gonna get fouled for eye poking. People are gonna start poking each other in the eyes, all kinds of shit. Big Texas 40, yeah, he Natty, but he pissed off the wrong people. Will never win a fight again. Oh, what? Who'd he piss off though? Who are we referring to before? See, because this is how I get to, right? How before I start responding, I may have interpreted what you said wrong. So I need some clarification. Before I go off on a tangent that's unrelated to anything, right? Let me go. Earth is flat. Dragons are real. Rock is spinning. People ain't ready, man. What? You talking about dragons, bro? You talking about dragons? You talking about dragons, bro? Now. Okay, how late into the stream are we? Did you hear a rumor that there was a frozen dragon, and that's why the people don't want the atmosphere to get any hotter? Because it would unfreeze the dragon. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's obviously. This is just satire at this point, right? I'm not saying that because definitely there's a lot of dinosaur bones, and I mean, if you were to look into it, none of them are actually bones. They're all like composites, and then like. If you looked at a T-Rex and a dragon, you would just go like, "Oh shit, that kind of looks like a bird." That's why it has some little things, right? Instead, but what if you just put wings on it? Now it's a drag. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing with you guys. I'm playing. Don't look into that. Don't look into that. Don't take what is it, a Nikon? What are they, 9000s? Don't look at Saturn. Because it can zoom in on Saturn's like 200 million miles away or whatever the fuck it is. And it can zoom in on it. And then it can zoom in on the moon. And like if you do that, then that like starts to make that don't make sense. Right? And then you start asking a bunch of questions, you get down these weird rabbit holes. It's all nonsense. Don't look into any of it. Also, yeah, so King David MMA, yes, of course, Conor McGregor is on steroids, HGH, testosterone replacement therapy, and high quality cocaine. I think he's off the cocaine, bro. I really believe he's off cocaine. Also, good to see you, King Davis MMA. Bro, I'm gonna just take that as a misspelling, King David MMA. Let's run it. And yeah, man. I would say he to my understanding, he did ibogaine. He hit rock bottom. This is the story as I understand it. He hit rock bottom. And I don't know how deep I want to get into this, but I was hanging out with somebody from McGregor Sports at a local fight. And I may or may not have gone viral for various reasons at that. I yelled at someone who's allegedly a bad guy. Anyways, but I was hanging out with this dude from McGregor Sports. Anyway, so the story as I understand it is that Conor McGregor hit rock bottom. He was wilding out. You guys know. You guys seen it, right? You know what I'm saying? He sent a picture of his dick with weights hanging off it to fucking chubby chicks, whatever, right? Like, no judgment. I mean, if that's his thing, I like dimes, so my girlfriend is a fucking model. But that's not why I'm with her. I'm with her because she's a genius. And we talk about philosophy, and she like loves me more than anybody on the planet. So that's why I'm with her. But like, she also happens to be like a dime. We're that's neat. That's. But Conor was sending out dick pics to thick bitches. Okay, girl. So man, hey, listen, whatever, right? He was partying, beating up dudes, old men in bars, all kinds of shit. He hit rock bottom. Does ibogaine, reconnects with Jesus Christ. Now he's a family man and he's focused Conor. We're going to call him Christian Conor. You know what I'm saying? And now he's like, hey, man, all that material shit is not for me. That was all wrong. What I love is my family. I love God. And I love training martial arts. And I'm like, man, that's what I want to hear from Conor. Now, is he on juice? I mean, the dude's looking fucking yoked, bro. He's looking yoked. I don't see. Here's the thing. I don't know how any of these motherfuckers are passing these drug tests. I've got a friend who no longer trains in Vegas. And he's like, dude, it's an IQ test, bro. He's like, I can give you the game plan on how to pass the test. And I'm like, dude, can it be that easy? And the coldest part is because we have this society around it where it's bad to talk about it. Like you can literally ask dudes at the gym, like, what do you want? And they're like, oh, brother, I'm clean, brother. I'm clean, brother. I'm not on anything, brother. You know what I mean? And you're like, bro, you are literally foaming at the mouth with veins popping out of your fucking deltoids, dog. What are you talking about? I grapple a cross section of the best people on the planet. You are orders of magnitude stronger. There's like a category, like I'm considered fucking strong. like freakishly strong for my size. And then there's like dudes that are like inhuman strength. And when they're on juice, it's not just like they're strong here, squeezing a rear naked or something. They're like strong, like with their arm extended, and then like like pulling it back in. It's like this weird strength everywhere. They're strong here and they're strong. Like it's hard to not be strong close, right? But to be strong out at like an angle off it, just be fucking. It's anyways. But yeah, man. So I don't know how they're passing that, but I've heard it's fairly simple. Okay. All right. Now the chat's popping off. The Earth is in a dome. Bro, dragons and giants are real. What? And the frozen dragon theory came out after the movie Encino Man came out, if you notice the details. Okay. Interesting. Dinosaurs aren't just my opinion. How do we have so much study with no scientists when they were there to study them? They're scammed for museums. Bro, you guys are wild. You guys are wild. I listen, man. I believe we're on a globe. I believe we're spinning at whatever tens of thousands of miles an hour like this, and then we're spinning around at like hundreds of thousands, and then like we're going through the galaxy, like, and then the galaxy's moving, and all. I believe all that, all of it. And then the stars in the sky, the constellations never change or anything, right? The moon's always facing us, all that. I believe that. You guys are wild. You guys are wild. You guys are wild. You have wild theories, and this is dangerous, guys. You guys are gonna mess with people's minds. Conor McGregor brought white stuff to the White House. What? Conor will fight Max, but he'll miss weight. Dude, Conor is gonna weigh in at 170 pounds on the dot, championship weight, and he will beat Max. And then he will either fight Justin Gaethje for the 155-pound title next, where he has a good chance of winning, or he will fight Islam Makhachev for the 170-pound title next. And that will respark the Khabib versus Conor rivalry, and it's Khabib's protege versus Conor McGregor in the biggest fight possible in MMA without Jake Paul. If Jake Paul gets involved in MMA, then Conor versus Jake would probably be the biggest fight in the human history. But anyway, he looks way out of shape and big. Bro, stop hating on Conor, bro. There's only one Conor McGregor. There's only one Conor McGregor. Oh, yeah, coming to my house. Man, you guys, can't the guy change? MMA holes. Conor is hella buff. Definitely, he was cycling. Yeah, for sure. Now I'm in the Conor. Well, Conor's in the Conor did juice camp. Conor admits it. Conor said he went out of the testing pool, got juiced up, healed his leg, and then got off the juice, and now he's ready to fight. Now, I believe he got out of the testing pool. I believe he did juice. I'm just confused as to how these dudes are maintaining all this muscle mass while getting off things that put muscle mass on you. So that's what's confusing me. And I'm not a fucking scientist. Maybe one of you guys can explain it to me. And yeah, that would lead one to believe that maybe he's got a good doctor or something like that. Or maybe he knows the IQ test secret on how to pass that my friend told me exists, but I'm confused. So he's still on the juice. What, bro? Dang, man, you got to have a little faith in my boy. You know what I mean? Maybe he's natty. Maybe he's natty now. Maybe he was formerly not natty, and now he's returned to his natty. So it's like virginity, right? Can he de-virginize himself or whatever, right? Like, can he be born again natty? Can Conor McGregor be born again natty? That's the question, guys. He said he did steroids, and now he said he's clean. He's back in the testing pool. He's testing clean. Does that make him a born again natural? That's my question. That's my question. Fuck, man, I'm out of this caffeine right now. I got like one more drink. He had to get off juice around this time. Fuck. Anyways, I absolutely love caffeine. Some people would say that is my. I don't even think it's a drug, guys. Like, what is a drug? Right? Is food a drug? Because a drug is something that like changes your mental and physical biology or something like that. Well, what's the definition of a drug? I'm going to look that up because I look up words. I like to look up words, and I like to look up like etymology of words, like where they came from, because sometimes people are using words in a conversational way that is not how the original word was intended. Like genius. So that's like a smart person. I'll even call my girlfriend a genius. She's a fucking genius. Like she's fucking smart as fuck. She's so smart. But enough about my dime piece genius, amazing girlfriend, right? Like whatever, right? I like to bring her up in conversation. I find it entertaining. I entertain myself doing that, and then I tell her about it. And she's like, "What?" Anyways. Uh, so there's a previous version of genius, which means like thoughts happen through them, right? So like a genius, in a way, previously was looked at as like a receptor and then transmitter of a frequency. So a genius previously would be like, let's say there's knowledge. God, the universe sends the genius knowledge, and then the genius receives the knowledge. So that's the word genie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, guys? But a lot of people don't even know that. So we're over here running around calling each other smart. Oh, you're a genius, right? But like the actual like history of the word genius, a little different, a little interesting. Very interesting how a lot of these words had different definitions back in the day. And now the definitions have been tweaked. And now we're very into the physical of it all instead of the spiritual of it all. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me read the chat. Caffeine better than all them supplements and roids, bro. Steroids look fun though, bro. Steroids do look fun. Fucking dude. What's better than caffeine, guys? Like seriously, what's better than calorie caffeine? Like what, bro? Like I wake up and I literally just imagine myself drinking a cool energy drink that I put in the fucking fridge for a bit, just so it's like a slushy. Just laying out by the pool. My slushy energy drink. You know what I'm saying? That's how I get down. All right. And Obamas are trying to sue him. Are they trying to sue him? Dude, that's wild. If they sue him and she does some form of DNA test to prove she's a she, biologically female, that would squash it all, right? Next time he wins, he should say, Laura Trump is a man, bro. You know what I mean? Then he'll have upset everybody, but nobody will say that he's not fair. If he says that, people will have to say, "Hey, man, he's an asshole, but he's fair." Born again, Natty, flesh of my flesh, juice of my juice. Oh my goodness, uh, bro. I got your DM on Instagram, dog. You got to start pulling up to the gym or something, man. Come to beginners class, dude. We got a whole ass social circle built in. That's why one of the best benefits of martial arts to me is I go there, I see all my fucking friends. Like everybody at the gym becomes friends with each other, and then you have like a fucking 100-person social circle. It's dope. It's fucking dope. I absolutely love martial arts, and I also love the social aspect of it. It's so fucking awesome. So, anyways, that's God-given power. Wouldn't want to run right without them people. World wouldn't run right without them people. No. All right. So, anyways, guys, that's the live for tonight. I could go on for fucking 98 hours about all this crazy shit. We could talk dinosaur bones. We could talk about composite images of space. We could talk about the moon not having stars when you land on the moon and you look out at the night sky. We could talk about all these things. We could go on forever. Right? There's a lot to discuss here. I can't believe the Incredible Hulk choming on the Obamas. Yeah, bro. Said keep going. Bro, well, I mean, but like let's be real, right? Like at what point do we get to the center of the earth? You know what I'm saying? What's up with the ice wall? What direction do we go, right? Because I believe that we're on a globe. we're spinning really fast in space. And space is like a bunch of stars in the sky, and they're spinning everywhere, and we're all just in this thing together, and we're just physical beings. We're just physical, right? And even though they will also tell us with the same science that at a subatomic level everything is just energy, and then that would lead you to believe that we're an energy field operating in a greater energy field, and that we're conscious energy, and then is the other energy conscious, and then we could go into all of that, and then we would start getting into spirituality, and then we would look at every spiritual text says that essentially the same thing. There's domes, and then we would go, man, why are all these spiritual texts just lying to us all the time? Why don't they just believe in science, guys? Why we're spinning at all times? You know what I mean? And then you would go, hey man, if you look across that lake, right, those buildings should be underneath the horizon because of the curvature. But if you were to look over there, you would realize, see, this is what people don't realize, that those are just reflections, that's a mirage, right? Because of the atmospheric conditions, that what's over the horizon around the curve of the globe is actually reflecting into the atmosphere above the lake. And that's why it's a perfect skyline. You get what I'm saying? Right? So we could talk about this all night, right? But it's but why, guys? I mean, those resin hypoxy bones are definitely representative of fucking dinosaurs. You know what I mean? I mean, none of them are actually real. You know what I mean? What does that got to do with the reality that dinosaurs were here millions and millions and millions and millions of years ago, and we didn't interact with them or dragons or anything? You get what I'm saying? We could discuss all that, but that would just be in fantasy land, guys. We would just be talking pure fantasy. And while it's fun, it's not productive. What's productive is to be a physical body and do physical things, and then go work all your life, and then pay taxes, and then you go, well, who are we paying taxes to? And then, you know what I mean? You start to go, well, if the United States government's not in charge of the fucking Federal Reserve, then who is? And then you go, wait, what's fractional lending? And then you go, what's fiat currency? And then you go, none of this shit's backed up by anything. And then you're asking too many questions, and now you're in a fucking rabbit hole. You get what I'm saying? And what the most productive thing for us to do, I believe, is just let's just go. Science is real. Safe and effective, guys. It's safe and effective. Okay? It's safe and effective. You know what I mean? Safe and effective. A guy can say a piece of cloth works, and then a guy can say a piece of cloth doesn't work, and then a guy can come back and say that the piece of cloth works, and that he was just saying a piece of cloth doesn't work because he was worried that there weren't going to be enough pieces of cloth. But now that there's enough pieces of cloth, now he's suggesting pieces of cloth, and that you should double cloth or triple cloth, and that everything's just safe and effective, even though it hasn't been tested or tried. And then you would start going into weird spaces, guys. You would go into weird spaces that are not safe for anybody, because listen, then you would start going into okay, what are actual peer reviews? Wait, when did that system start? You know what I mean? And then you would start asking yourself hey man, you crazy shit, right? And then you end up, next thing you know, you end up barefoot at the UFC Fan Expo in DC, getting escorted out by police officers. And you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that, guys. Because that's where all that leads. And then next thing you know, you are literally the UFC world champion being arrested for being at a UFC event. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And we're just trying to have fun talking about, dragons. Can't we just joke about dragons? Anyways, guys, I absolutely love you. Thank you for subscribing. You guys fucking make my nights fun. I love when the chat pops off. So, anyways, we're having a bunch of fantasy fun out here. Just you know what I mean? Just playing around. just enjoying our night together, talking about a bunch of stuff that has no scientific basis for anything. And, we got to trust science at all times because it's totally real. And that's how science works is completely trust everything you're told, never question anything like a hypothesis, which is part of the scientific method. Never do that. Anyways, I love you guys. Oh shit, great show, epic man. Yeah, man. I love you guys too. Hey, let's get on it. You know what I mean? Tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up, have a slushy, hop back on here. Make sure you got notifications on because no time, no telling what time. I don't even want to end the stream. I'm having so much fun. Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream though. All right, I gotta go. I gotta train tomorrow.